Hello YouTube and welcome back to another raging reality reaction video. Now tonight guys, it's finally sort of like the time that I promised for all of you, is that we are going to begin the sort of ending to Clockwork Angels. And I say ending because I think insofar as like the timeline we're on, we're only about halfway into the story in which the anarchist has had a failed terrorist attack against destroying one of the Clockwork Angels, and our protagonist has pretty much ran away with this sort of device. I think it was meant to be some kind of bomb, and he's pretty much left now. And obviously he's still going to be back in the story, I think. But we're going to find out what the halo effect is going to be all about. So it's been a little bit of a long time coming since we've done this, and this is just going to be unbridled, unmitigated fun for everyone. I hope. It depends really what this is about, because Rush has a very, very uncanny ability of going very back and forth to being very optimistic, very, very sort of, I think the best way I can describe it is very optimistic for the future sort of songs. And there are some that I thoroughly convinced that Neil Peart is praying nothing more than the overall doom of humanity. But let's see what version we're going to get this time. So, if you guys want to check out the original video for yourselves, links will all be in the description down below. Let's begin. Halo effect in 3, 2, 1, and...
What did I see? Fool that I was. Oh, a goddess with wings on her heels. All my illusions projected on her. The idea that I wanted to see. What did I know? Did I care? Fool that I was. Oh, little by little I burned. Maybe sometimes there might be a flaw, but how pretty the picture was back then. What did I do? Fool that I was.
I'm going to turn this up just a little bit. I can't necessarily tell if it's just the boys just sort of like being a little bit more subdued and just trying to have like about as much impact as they can. I'll get into this a little bit more, but I just want to relive this part again.
Maybe sometimes there might be a flaw, but how pretty the picture was back then. What did I do? Fool that I was, to profit from youthful mistakes. It's shameful to tell how did I do? The fool that I was, to profit from youthful mistakes. So shameful to tell just how often I fell in love with illusions again. A goddess with wings on her heels.
Okay, guys, that was Halo Effect by Rush. Now, sort of like the big purpose of Halo Effect is to give is to continue the story of our protagonist, who I believe is supposed to be is meant to be a gypsy who becomes like an acrobat. I think I might have to. In fact, actually, tell you what. I'm actually going to go back to Caravan first of all, just to find out. I'm pretty sure they do refer to him as a gypsy, or whether or not this is just a kid who moves from the country to become a star in the city, which are home to the Clockwork Angels. Lead singer, Neopert, decides. Okay, right, so there's no real message about him being a gypsy there. But okay, I'm only assuming these sort of things because, I don't know, I could have sworn that like they heard about it. Well, I could have sworn that like mentioned it at one point, and then what's really interesting is that they suddenly, it sort of I don't want to say derails, but it seems as if like the story suddenly becomes about this guy who's just fell in love with this girl who, as they're going through the routine, and I gotta say it blends with some really interesting lyrics when you take it to the whole idea of acrobatics, gymnastics, and then you blend them together with like with images of people like tumbling around as you're sort of like just learning how to balance yourself on a trapeze, or you're trying to do tricks in front of a circus. I think I'm trying to make sense out of the garbage I utter. Trust me, guys. It's harder than it looks. Trust me. But especially, I mean, I'll go through the very first one that I'll show for all of you. What did I see? Fool that I was, a goddess with wings on her heels. All my illusions projected on her. The ideal that I wanted to see. So he's sort of like, he's now referring to this girl he likes, sort of like an angel, in the way that she would just like float around. Well, float, I say, do gymnastics basically in front of a performance. And if you want to take the idea of performance a little more literally, he refers to himself as a fool in all of this. She is the star of the show, and he is just somebody not to be taken seriously. He's for comic relief, not for someone to be taken seriously or to have sympathy towards, because he's supposed to represent, laughter and personal enjoyment, which is I think it's a lot more interesting when you sort of like put it into that perspective, because is he really out of his depth? But then again, you sort of like do want to sympathize with the fool just a little bit, because he may not realize or just does not understand how this woman is still within his own league, as it were. But then again, even if he was to say aim quite high to her level, he constantly says like he calls her a goddess, a person with wings on her heels, i.e. something that is so far beyond our imagination as to what an angel could possibly look like, that it's about as far out as the reach as the moon, or possibly even Jupiter. And then, of course, when you get into the chorus a little bit, he kind of sort of like reflects on this a little bit more. But I want you guys to like point this part out, and I'll get into why in a minute. What did I know? Fool that I was. Little by little, I learned my friends were dismayed to see me betrayed, but they knew they could never tell me. Now, he mentions fool again, but this time is he now doing this as a sign of regret, i.e. that he doesn't quite realize his potential, in that he can pretty much talk to this girl that he claims is so high and mighty, and he was just too cowardly even after he made this grandiose gesture in Caravan and to be ambitious, to be so like as if the world was within his reach and his grasp, and it was for his to take, which I've said before is possibly the downfall of people like the anarchists, the main villain of this story. And then again, little like by little, I learned my friends were dismayed. Like, was this guy meant to be a very popular fool? Well, he kind of had to have been if he's had even the title of a fool, because, well, even having a title like that, he has something very distinguishable about him that other people would have sort of like understood or even sympathized with. So are his friends sort of like, and that's a thing I also need to like bring up, just because I like this whole analysis portion. It's half of the reason why I love doing reaction videos, is that are his friends disappointed with our protagonist because he doesn't realize his potential, or is he so foolish as to believing that she will love this guy because of, I don't know, just because of his personality and all the rest of it? That's I like that. I like that because, and I want to know if this is something that actually happens. Well, if it's displayed in that sort of same metaphorical stances in the book itself. Why the hell I didn't think about asking for the book is a pretty good question. I'm now going to repeat to myself a few times. But then again, what did I do? The fool that I was, to profit from youthful mistakes? It's very shameful to tell, but how often I tell in love with delusions again. And now we bring it back, and even when you put it like into that sort of that stance again, we still don't really have a clear answer. Is he delusional to think that, one, this woman will fall in love with him, or is he delusional in the fact that he didn't try at all, hence he'll never know because he was a coward, even after he made all these bold promises, and how he was so. Was it possibly something that he saw when he first made his he first met the anarchist? Could that possibly be what happened? Like, something about him made him see the world in a slightly more sinister sort of reality or something like that. I honestly would not. In fact, I'm half in confusion a little bit myself. But you know what? At least, I'll tell you what, at least Pert has definitely given me a lot more to think about. And especially, does this come into effect later on in the story? Does our hero suddenly become the anarchist who's suddenly dismayed by the contradictory remarks that the society has told him to believe in? And will our protagonist end up either sympathizing or becoming another form of the anarchist who wishes death for this city that only worships time and the beautiness of time, in which they've personified as angels? Hell, maybe it's because of all the talk of angels with like with wings on heels and comparing her to a goddess and all that. Maybe he'll grow to hate this imagery because of the clockwork angels. Maybe that's the only thing he can truly compare himself towards. What do you guys think? That is going to be like the biggest thing when we get back into this next time, which hopefully won't be too far away, because I need to check quickly. Yep, we are officially halfway through Clockwork Angels. Now we've got 7 Cities of Gold, The Wreckers, Headlong Flight, BU to B, B2, Wish Them Well, and we've only got the 6 last songs that Rush wrote are just around the corner. Well, they're not going to be the ending of us doing Rush videos here. That's one thing for certain. But where on earth do we go from here? Like, what is the fate of our protagonist? What's going to be the fate of the anarchist? What is going to happen next? And hopefully we won't have to wait too long to find out. So anyway, hope you guys have enjoyed this reaction video. Please leave your thoughts and comments in the comment section down below. Let me know what you guys thought of Halo Effect by Rush. Please also make sure to also like and subscribe to get daily notifications when my videos come out. And I hope to love you guys again in the next reaction video. Take care. Bye bye for now. Zoop.